Good afternoon. I am so excited to be here with y'all. I am all decked out in Now Is Non-Negotiable gear as we are coming right straight fresh out from the Now Summit. And that is what I want to talk to y'all about today. Ow, it just hit my hand. That is what I want to talk to you all about today is the Now Summit and the learnings that we all took away from the summit and all the incredible, the speakers, the audience, the attendees, the connections, the networks, the handful of vendor partners we had there, as well as the amazing MCs, Fred and Lou, and that's where I'm going to start. So it is one thing to plan a summit. It is one thing to put a meeting together, a training together for your team. You can plan it out precisely. You can make sure that all the content is lined up. You can make sure you have all your talking points. But the energy and the feeling that goes into the delivery of the training, the event, in our case, the summit, that's what really shifts everything. The energy and the feelings that you put into the experience you provide your customers shifts their perception, shifts their emotions. And an experience is something that happens to you. I'm going to start again. An experience is something that happens to you that impacts and affects directly how you feel. Sorry, my brain needed to catch up to my mouth there. Good morning, Doug. Afternoon. Good morning, Allison. Thank you for being on. I guess it's morning here in Toronto. So I've been on a whirlwind 6 weeks of travel, and I arrived late last night here in Toronto. So we're East Coast. Oh my gosh, what am I saying? Here. This is how tired I am, but so excited to be here. It says 10:05 because my computer is into Pacific time, and it is actually 1:05. So good morning, good afternoon. Back to the energy. What you put out is what you get back. And if you want to provide an incredible experience, which was the focus of our summit, the focus of our summit was to provide the attendees, our vendor partners, our sponsors, our speakers, an experience that they would leave going, oh my gosh, I want to do that over and over again, and I have all the tools I need to get it done. We couldn't have done that without, so many people, but I'm going to start with Fred and Lou. Listen, they were the heartbeat of the summit. They didn't just host, they completely ignited the room. They were the gold ribbon or the gold thread that tied the entire thing together and perfectly packaged it with a bow. Coffee guys, I am so grateful for y'all. Gosh, they brought the joy. That's their brand. Every word, laugh, dance, move. It reminded us all that energy is contagious, and so is excellence. No sleep. Case in point right here. That is okay. And after a full road show, because we were actually all at Drive Centric together on Monday and flew out Monday afternoon and Monday evening to start the conference, the Now Summit, on Tuesday. They were there the day before. They made sure that the room was set up. They still showed up regardless of how much they had going on. They showed up completely charged and poured into every person. And I want you to think about that for a second, because when you go into work, you have a choice to show up or not to show up. You have a choice to serve your employees or to serve your customers, or to let your tiredness, the things going on in your life, if you have something disappointing going on, or if you're in a bad mood, you have a choice to let that override you, or you could choose to step into that excellence. And oh my gosh, did Fred and Lou step into that excellence? And I have to tell you, Lou actually came and then just left just before the end of the summit to welcome his granddaughter into the world. And even with all the things going on in his life, he showed up. They are masters of momentum, and they turned a crowd into a community, transforming our space into a celebration. I want you to think about that every time you interact with an employee, a friend, your partner. You have the choice to give that joy, to spread that positive energy, or the choice not to. And we couldn't have made it without them. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning, Kelly. You were there at the summit. I'd love to hear if anybody that is on here, tell me what you loved about the summit so I can share it with everybody. I know, Doug, you were there. Obviously, Allison was there. Kelly, you were there. And so please share. Okay, so I have notes here. I'm not going to lie. I flew in at midnight last night. I am not 1000% prepared as I normally am for these lives. Oh, Kelly says, Fred and Lou, they made it look effortless. And it's so true. They did. I want to give a special thanks, shout out to Podium. So Podium was our platinum sponsor. And without Podium, we couldn't have given the experience we gave in terms of an amazing food, amazing guest speakers, the little road snacks and surprises that we had along the way. And what was really cool about what Podium did when they came up and they presented, because we wanted this to be educational, and they took that and they made it possible. They were so highly educational about AI and what AI can do for you in your business. They fully integrated, and they're fully integrated with Google and making everything frictionless. And they showed every audience member how to do that, whether or not they used Podium or not, whether they used whatever provider they wanted, the audience wants to use or is currently using. I was blown away. I was blown away by how Podium showed up and educated on how AI, how reviews, and how you can use technology to increase the guest experience. Then we had Samuel Ingalls, who was the director of innovation, and he was the director of customer experience for the Harry Reid International Airport, among incredible other things that he's done. But he shared with us that innovation starts with listening. This one story, and this is something I want you all to take away right now from this talk today. This one story really just blew me away. One custodian's frustration with not being able to clean they called them holding rooms. So the waiting rooms at the airport, the holding spaces, those chairs, one custodian's frustration completely sparked a global change. And the reason it sparked a global change was because the leaders inspired innovation and inspired their teams to speak up. They actually expected it. So one of the leaders of the Harry Reid International Airport went and shadowed the custodian for a full shift to find out exactly what it was that was happening. And that innovation, that care, that attention sparked an entire global change. So what happened is that they saw just how difficult it was to clean these chairs. There's grooves in it. There were stitch marks within the fabric, and he couldn't clean the chairs. Every airport now that you will see has flat surfaced holding room chairs. And that's because this leader listened to their team member and allowed them to speak up. Okay, so we have some comments coming in here. Doug, thank you. Yes, we had lots of energy in the room for sure. Matt Copley, another incredible sponsor and partner who did an incredible job at presenting and educating our team and everybody in the room. I'm going to go up here. Matt says, I dropped a post on this today, The critical importance of customer experience is what will define winning dealers as every car shopper drowns in robotic automations. Really well done, Katie and Allison. Thank you so much. That innovation, though, that comes from the people around you who are interacting with their guests every single day. Are you fostering a culture of continuous feedback and innovation? Doug says here, the combination of other industry stories and applying their thoughts to dealerships made it much more applicable for the participants. That's what we wanted to do. The goal at the Now Summit wasn't to just be another automotive summit that we have all the best and the bright automotive speakers come in and tell us what we should be doing in terms of guest experience. Because the reality is a lot of us don't know what we're doing when it comes to the guest experience, but you know who does? MGM, Disney, Ritz-Carlton, everywhere where your guests spend their money. And so we brought them in to share their secrets so that you can take it and apply it to your organization in the automotive industry. And Doug, the board breaking, that was incredible. We had a surprise on day 2, and we had every single attendee break through their barriers, most literally. A board breaking activity where it was led by Matt Shope, and it was just incredible. Kelly here says, I love how engaging the session was. It wasn't just a lecture, but a true collaboration. The insights from other industries made it even more valuable. So thank you, Sam, because that's the first person I talked about with the industry, talking about innovation, how it starts at the top, but it actually happens on the front lines. So what are you doing to encourage a culture of innovation? Because they're the ones that interact with your guests every day. They see, the front lines see what needs to be done. Are you asking the right questions? Are you shadowing? Are you getting down on their level so that they can spark the innovation in the guest experience? Of course, I've just mentioned Matt here. Matt from Horizon, Matt Copley, and his helpful content here is just the new CX. It's not marketing. It provides a roadmap like no other. And I have to say, the way he facilitated, he brought the goods. It was incredible. And I am just so, so grateful for you, Matt. And you stayed the whole time, which I loved. And you interacted with everybody. And it was just fantastic. I'm going through my notes here. We can't forget Jordan Cox. He captured everything wonderfully. So any of the reels that you see online, that is all Jordan. He is just masterful, and we're so lucky that he captured every special moment of the event. And yes, this is a gratitude CX is non-negotiable day, because we couldn't have done it without all of these people. You can't provide an experience and have a business without your people. So who would I be if I didn't come on here right after the event and shout some praise and some love? I'd be a hypocrite is what I would be. So, okay, we're going to keep going through here because it's important. If you have an event coming up, or if you want to check out any of our sponsors, to get in touch with them, please check out our website. Our sponsors are there. Drop me a DM, get in contact with me. We're happy to make those connections. I want to praise everybody. So we have Jim Gallen, who is our Michelin key leader. He was fantastic, sharing how positive conflict allows you to keep a Michelin mindset. He closed out day 1, and it was fabulous. We can't forget Steve Apicella, Strategic DX. He sponsored our happy hour, and was it happy? Everyone's like, did I read this right? The happy hour was at 2:30, middle of the day happy hour. And yes, we had drinks, we had bubbly, and we had charcuterie going around, and everybody loved it. It was a little surprise and delight, and without you, Steve, that wouldn't have been made possible. So thank you, Steve. I mentioned the board breaking just briefly, but Matt from Pour Into People, that's his organization's name, Pour Into People, he reminded us that our breakthrough lives on the other side of our limitation. And I believe our breakthrough lives on the other side of I don't feel like it. So of course, we had to have him out here. Every board shattered was fear, doubt, and a barrier that you've been placing in front of you left aside. It was left behind. I actually just saw Justin Wagner's post on LinkedIn just before I hopped on here, saying he's got his picture of his board saying that he is no longer fearful of failure. He's breaking that through. He left that in that room. He broke through that barrier on that board. And he is another incredible sponsor. All the swag that you see, the sweaters, you can check out our swag store on our Now Is Non-Negotiable website, nowisnotnegotiable.com. Yetis, coffee cups, sweaters, clothing, you name it, it's there. The beautiful thing is Safeguard and Justin are giving 10% of our gross sales to a charity of our choice, and we are donating that to Giving Hope, which is Premier Automotive Management's nonprofit organization where they help feed the homeless. And we couldn't be more proud to be helping that organization in that way. So every piece of gear you buy not only helps Justin, it helps feed a family. It helps a woman in need who needs to feed her kids. So thank you, Justin, for everything you've done. He gave away some incredible leather Now Is Non-Negotiable duffel bags. It was off the charts. I mean, everything about this was off the charts. Then we heard from Disney, Randy Dearborn, from Disney Magic to MGM Mastery. He talked about how surprise and delight isn't just a slogan, it is a system. It's something that you have to design. You know, we talked a lot about that at the summit, where you want to decide the feeling that you want your guests to walk away from when they're interacting with you. You've got to decide on what that is. Is that happiness? Is that joy? Is that feeling special? Whatever that feeling is. And then you've got to design your experience backwards. Because surprising and delighting, delivering a +1, anticipating your guests' needs, that is a system. You've got to hire the people who have the soft skills to deliver the system, but the system, that foundation needs to be put into place. The guest experience starts way before the human even checks in, and we know this, it starts online, and you need to design the experience all the way through. All right, anybody else that has been at the summit, drop in some comments. What else did you love about it? What was your number one takeaway so I can share this with everyone else? All right. We have Bill Camastro, who was our closing keynote speaker. One of the biggest takeaways that I took, I mean, there was a lot. Bill was just incredible. He is the #1 Cadillac dealer 16 years in a row. He graced us with his presence. And what an honor it was to learn from somebody who has really mastered the art of guest experience in the automotive industry. Greet every guest. I have this written down here. Greet every guest with, "I can help you." Not how can I help you? Hi, my name is Katie and I can help you. What do you need? It takes the guessing game out of it. It allows your guests to feel comfortable. And it was just one of those moments in all the years I have designed experiences. I have never thought about that switch in verbiage. We talked a lot about the power of your words and what you say and how you say it matters. This little sentence makes a big impact. He also talked about the fact that what he expects, which is visibility, accessibility, and relentless focus, is what he actually gives. And a winning culture is something that you have to anchor. A winning culture has to be anchored not only by your process, but anchored by your accountability and holding your team accountable. And he has this letter that goes to every customer that has his phone number on it, which is really cool. So every guest knows that if they have an issue, they can go right to the top. Yes, Allison says Fred and Lou poured out the golden thread of energy and joy. They really, really did. Kelly, I can't agree more. I'm going to put this comment up on screen here. Kelly says, Bill proves it can be done. Period. Full stop. So y'all, in the automotive industry, if you work in a store, own a store, work in the back end, variable or fixed, whatever which one it is, no matter which area in the dealership you work in, if you work in an OEM or you are a vendor to a dealer, we don't have to do the same old thing. We get to do it differently. And Bill shows us that it's possible because he's doing it. He is the number one dealer, Cadillac dealer, 16 years in a row. It's only possible because he shows up every day with no excuses. He has anchors. He holds people accountable, and he puts his people and his customers first. Kelly also says, I have exceeded your expectations. Have I exceeded your expectations? Sorry, is what she says. That is exactly what he asks. Have I exceeded your expectations? I want to make sure I don't forget anybody. Extremely important. Our opening keynote, Danelle Delgado. Now, if anybody has had the honor of hearing her speak, she'll change your life. She's changed mine. She is my coach. She is my friend. And she supported us, the Now Is Non-Negotiable Ventures team, in a really big way. She got up there and let us know that we have more in us than we think is possible. And then she really dug in and reminded us of who loses if we don't win. I want you to answer that question. Who loses if you don't win? Is it your kids, your husband, your wife? Is it your employees, your customers? If you don't change that guest experience, if you don't show up every day and draw a line in the stand or put a stake in the ground saying we are going to improve this guest experience, because we also talked about the 5 P's from promise to profit, which I'll outline in just a second. If we don't put that stake in the ground and we just live in what she calls our gap of crap, if you live in your gap of crap, who loses? That's pretty heavy stuff. Who loses if you don't win? Doug says here, and I'm going to put this up on the screen as well, the common thread of the entire summit was a true belief of the cultural goal and accountability behind it. We need to make a difference now. We need to stop negotiating with our future success, whether that's you personally, you within the business, or the guest experience that provides your profit. Before I get to my last 2 thank yous, and I want to make sure I'm going to roll through that I've gotten everybody. We had we had Fred and Lou as our MCs. They were incredible. We had Danelle Delgado, who was our opening keynote speaker. Podium, Steve Apicella, Strategic DX. We have Matt Copley at Horizon. We had Randy Dearborn and Sam Ingalls, and I spoke a little bit so I could thank myself as well. Allison, I know you're on here. Hop on if I'm forgetting anybody at all. Jordan, who was the incredible human that captured it all. Every single audience member. Our Ryan, our AV guy, was incredible. The Maven was fantastic. I have 2 more people to thank. Actually, I'm going to call it 2.5 or 3. First, I want to thank Allison, our chief strategist, in which I showed up and it was done. She's incredible. She filled the room with absolute fire. The setup was seamless. The conference was seamless. And that's because of Allison and our team. So I just want to put a huge shout out and thank you for organizing the speakers, getting everybody in line, ensuring the run of show was smooth and seamless. Our sponsors were well taken care of. All the moments of surprise and delight, our chief strategist, Allison Rank, and our team made that possible. So thank you for your loyalty and for your belief in making Now non-negotiable. The second humans I want to thank is Kevin, my fiance and my kids for just believing in this with me and pushing me to do it and calling me and texting me throughout the couple of days. And Kevin even came to support. Without y'all, this wouldn't be possible. And last but definitely not least, I want to just put a little shout out there for God, because all the glory is to him. It is just incredible what can happen when you walk in faith and not fear. Anything is possible. Kelly says here in a special, all the special finishing touches, it was incredible. There was moments of surprise and delight over all 2 days. And I just wanted to make this a full gratitude session for everybody that had a hand and everybody that believed in us and came, all 70 attendees that came and showed up and participated. It's just, I'm truly grateful. I feel blessed and I feel humbled, and it wouldn't have been possible without you. I send gratitude. If you are on my list of gratitude receivers, I send it every single morning, but I did not send my gratitude for 3 days because I was so heads down with this summit. So thank you for your patience, but also thank you to you for lighting up my world every single day by sharing the things you're grateful for. And this is for you. This is for all of you. So here's my gratitude for the last 3 days. And I just feel so, so blessed to have had everybody there. And if you missed it, well, we did miss something, but you can catch it next year. It is October 6th and 7th next year. The location to be determined, but if you hop on our site, you can grab tickets already for next year. nowsnonnegotiable.com/summit. I cannot wait to surprise and delight you again. We are so excited. Before I close out, I did want to talk a little bit about the Promise to Profit pathway. And this is something that we talk a lot about with our one-on-one clients and our virtual training, and we talked in depth about at the summit. And that is this: you need a brand promise, a promise that is your North Star, that you believe in, that your team rallies around. That promise needs to be supported by your principles. What are you doing operationally? How are you going to make feel-good moments? And how are you going to surprise and delight? How are you going to deliver that +1? Promise, principles, process. Now, how do you make that promise and those principles come to life? That's your brand experience playbook. That is the process you put together. And we had it was so much fun. The honor of putting together a brand experience playbook with the attendees. It was so much fun. Then there's practice. Okay, this is where the rubber hits the road. This is where you make it come to life. How are you practicing it? How are you preaching it? How are you coaching it? How are you ensuring that you're not in your gap of crap and you are doing the things you don't feel like doing, and you stop negotiating with the future success of your business, with the happiness of your customers, and the success of your team members? I'm so sorry. And then there's profit. But profit cannot happen unless you have all your ducks in a row. You need your promise, you need your principles, you need your process, you need to practice it. And it doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. Small baby pivots, little moves amount to big wins. And those big wins, well, that's profit. The 5 P's from promise to profit. I am so grateful again for every single human that attended. This is the most off-the-cuff live I have ever done, but it is from the bottom of my heart. I couldn't be more proud, more honored, or more humbled. And if it wasn't for the team, if it wasn't for the attendees, if it wasn't for our sponsors, if it wasn't for our MCs and our media partner, Jordan, our speakers that all rallied together around one mission, making now non-negotiable, this wouldn't have come to life. So thank you to everybody. I hope you all have the best weekend. I know I'm going to be sleeping. I don't have my kids until Sunday, so I will be sleeping all weekend. And if you need anything, never hesitate to reach out, Allison or myself. All right, y'all, have the best weekend. Bye.